おはこんばんち、まいともチャンネルのさくらこです。前回、ちょっとね、割と珍しい動画だったかと思うんですけれども、皆さん、よく受け止めてくださって、安心してね、ご自分の思いを置いていただく場所みたいな形でコメント欄を開けているつもりなので、ありがとうございます。いろいろシェアしてくださってね、胸の内を。それでもうずっと先延ばしになってたんですけどね、もうこれ10日ぐらい前に撮った話なんですけど、ちょっと翻訳入れたりするのに時間がかかりました。で、うちの夫がね、アメリカ人なんですけれども、ブディスとかお釈迦様の教えを実際に実践していきたいなと思っている人であり、そういう割とハードコアなトレーニングを受けてる人なんですね。彼の話によると、そのお釈迦様の教えっていうのは、心を見る方法っていうかね、あり方、生き方というものを教えてくれるもので、ここに問題があったら、じゃあそれをどう見て、どうやって具体的にやっていったらいいかっていう、その心の中を見つめていく方法っていうかね、スピリチュアルな部分ももちろんあるんだけれども、ものすごい実践的っていうかね、だから宗教というよりはライフスキルなんですよね。そういう教えだったんだななんてね、私も教えてもらっています。なるべくオリジナルに近いお釈迦様の頃のお釈迦様の教えをということだから、割とその教えと、例えばヒンズーが教えてらっしゃるヒンズーのその最初の頃と割とオーバーラップしてるところとかも多いらしくてね、死に対する瞑想をしたりとか、お墓に行って、そういうことやらされてね、自分にとって死って何なのかというのはもうとことん見つめ尽くしたっていう、そういうバックグラウンドがある人が風さんのこの花の歌詞を読み、そしてミュージックビデオを見た時にどんな風に思うのかなって興味があったから、今まで一回も聞いたことなかったんですけど、今回はさすがに聞いたということからこういう運びになりました。ちょっと私に説明してくれてただけなんですよね。だからちょっとプレゼンみたいにはなってませんよ。ちょっと行ったり来たりはしてますけれども、もうそのまんまちょっとシェアさせていただきたいと思います。どうぞ。先に歌詞を読んだじゃない、英語の方の歌詞をさ、で今まではカズくんのことあんまり知らないし、全然知らないし、だからこの曲だけなんだけど、まずファーストどう思った？
I thought it was beautiful. It was just like a Buddhist poem. It's actually much simpler than I expected to.
Much simpler?
Yeah. There's not that many lyrics.
そうだね、繰り返しが多いしね。
Yeah, it's very simple. To me, it's just a Buddhist poem. It's beautiful. Every moment is dying. But
みんなそうだよね、生きてるものは。
It's blooming and it's dying. Even though it's blooming, we know it's going to be like this. Like a bottle rocket. It's going to bud and bloom and then it's going to die. Every moment while it's blooming, it's still dying. It's on a death trajectory. It's dying. But in Buddhism, every moment, and every moment we're closer to death. Right? There's a lot of meditations on death.
そう。
Yeah.
死のことを瞑想するの？
Yeah. Yeah. 知らないの？
知らないよ。
話してないの？
話してないよ。
So if you meditate on death, then you realize that every breath is closer to our last. Every day is one day closer to the last day.
それ頭ではわかるよ。
Then we want to make each day precious.
そうだね。
And each moment precious.
そうだね。
And then how do I want to live? And if I want to have peace of mind and happiness, and I look for true roots of happiness, not money, fame, or whatever, but what really makes sustained happiness, then it gives one more motivation to practice the meditation, practice the Buddhist, teachings, and that we can have peace of mind, and then we can accept, and that gives us motivation to mindfully enjoy, mindfully have, experience of each moment. We don't want to waste time. Actually, the Zen Center, there used to be a chant, something about, our days are numbered, I shall not squander time, I shall not waste time. Every time they would chant that.
Wow.
As a meditator. So to me, it's dying even at this moment. So it's pointing to each moment. And wherever you are, whoever you are, whether you're young or old, whether you're a new flower or blooming, you're still dying.
Yes.
So that's a call. It's an invitation to wake up in Buddhism. It's an invitation to realize we're dying. And how do I want to live this life?
Right.
And he says that later. How am I going to live? Who am I going to live?
Right.
What path am I going to take?
Right.
So everything comes together. it's blooming, everything comes together. That's also very Buddhist, right? There's no separation. I don't know what he means in this, and I forgot what the Japanese is, but in Buddhist teachings, everything is connected, right? For example, even the molecules in the flower, after it dies, it's going to be in the next tree, or these molecules will be recycled. If you breathe out, maybe the carbon dioxide is, used by the plant, and then it spits out oxygen, and your breath just comes back to me, maybe.
Right.
And just like we're all connected.
Right.
And there's lots more difficult to understand teaching in Buddhism, but it's a very holding a bouquet of wilted flowers. Wow, under my arm.
Wow. そこはどういうふうに感じる?
Because usually you have a bouquet that's blooming,
right.
peak blooming, and his bouquet of wilted flowers, but it's under his arm. He was searching for the beauty that would never fade. Like every human,
right?
We're looking for a permanent, beauty, permanent love, permanent happiness, and yet somehow we know it's not going to always last, but it feels permanent. Especially when you're 6 years old, or 12 years old, or 18 years old, it feels but it's not, right? So I was searching for the beauty that would never fade. We all do that. So that can connect with people because he's saying I do it. It's from his direct experience, so it's vulnerable. But obviously so anybody can say, yeah, me too. And then he says, I'm going to bloom the flower inside of me. So I think, to me, I'm not sure, but he's learned that everything fades, everything wilts.
Right.
Everything dies, everything is impermanent. And he admits he was searching for the beauty that would never fade. So he now realizes that was, in Buddhist terms, unwise view, wrong view, right? Wrong understanding. And it feels like he's shifting, and now he says, I'm going to bloom the flower inside of me, which I think means his spiritual path is blooming. I'll find out someday, I'm sure. So it sounds like, he's intentionally on a spiritual path, and he realizes he's still confused, but he's looking for the right path.
Right.
And he also has confidence that one day he'll find out, I'm sure. And then he says, we're all alone, which is also true. But then he later says, all is one, which is also true. And then he says, confused by the various shapes and forms. And in
すみません。ちょっとここで現在の桜子が補足させていただきますけれども、日本でおなじみの般若心経ってありますよね。で、あれはインドから中国を経由して日本へ伝えられた。これはハートストラと呼ばれるんですけど、これはそのサンスクリット語から直接英語に訳されたものというふうにされています。だから風さんの歌詞ではないんですけど、英語版のハートストラを読むと、割ともっとなんて言うんだろう、分かりやすくロジカルというか、なので理解が深まったりもするそうです。このあたりですよね。一方、インドの経典から直接英語に訳されたハートストラで見てみると、ここなんですけど、面白いことにこの英語版では色のことは言ってなかったりするんですけれども、ハートストラの中にもフォームっていう言葉が出てくるし、英語を使い仏教の教えを実践している人たちにとってフォームとかシェイプという言葉が出てきた時に、それは仏教用語らしいので、の姿や形に惑わされるっていうところをね、confused by various shapes and forms っていうふうに風さんが訳してらっしゃるので、仏教的なバックグラウンドがある音にとっては、姿形という日本語を英語に訳しただけではなくて、仏教的な意味を含んで聞こえてくるということのようなんです。
Part of it is form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Form is a big word, right? That forms are not concrete, and A, they're going to change, B, they're permanent, and C, everything's connected, and D, part of it's illusion, like we don't really know what we see. People see things, and what they see isn't reality.
Yeah.
So don't hold on to the form. Don't feel like it's really like this. Just say, I experience it like this. So then he says, confused by the various shapes and forms. So therefore I experience that as very Buddhist. Don't take the world too seriously. Don't take fame, money, this shape, this table, this stomach too seriously because it's going to change. If I look at this mouse, that I see is literally just the eye and the neurons in the back of the eye telling my brain there's this shape here.
Right.
But depending on if my eyes are good or bad, it's going to look different. And I think there's a mouse here and it looks like this, but the reality is, depending on the color of the lights here and my experience of it, or my belief about mice, I might see it very clearly, or I might just glance at it and not see the details. So the mouse is really mostly in my head. And is this wood? So in Buddhist sense, I should see this and know that it's wood, but also know that one day it will be garbage.
Right.
And then, 2 years ago, it was, I don't know, wood cut before it was painted. And before that, it was a tree. And before that, it was a baby tree. And before that, it was a seed. And before that, it was other molecules.
Right.
And it's all connected. And somebody did all the work on it. And somebody cut it. And somebody designed it. And somebody had to carry it in the truck. And somebody put it together. Maybe you put it together here or whatever else. And there's just so much involved. And yet all I see is, okay, whatever. And I take it for granted. And this shape too. Like at the moment, Sean's self-image is I'm 20 and I'm healthy. But in 20 years he'll be 40. That's a very different shape. He'll have a dad shape. Shapes and forms, there's a lot of teachings about we shouldn't take it too seriously. Everything changes. Because, again, impermanence, right? So confused by various shapes and forms also, to me, feels like, very Buddhist. To me.
可愛いなと思える。
可愛く
思えるさ。Right.
So to me, it's, and the way I heard it, in Japanese especially, was I'm going to experience everything with loving kindness. 可愛い。全部は可愛がることができるんだ。So remember, loving every moment, loving everything. Is very Hindu and very Buddhist. So to me, that's what I heard. Because I already had this story in my head of, if I can just experience everything with loving awareness, every moment with loving awareness, my peace of mind will be so easy. That's the story in my head. So I heard it as that.
Right.
That might not be what he means. Shapes and forms, and I like this, I don't like that. There's the ski I got. That's very Buddhist, right? That if I have reactions, I like this, I like those, then I'll be less happy than this is okay and that's okay. Accept everything. Everything's acceptable. So, 全部は可愛がることできるんだったら I'll be much happier. That's how I experienced it. I acute loving kindness to everything, literally. The dead flower is also so interesting and represents, it used to be a beautiful flower, and how molecules will feed the ground and become trees again or flowers again. That's also beautiful, right? So if I can experience everything as interesting and beautiful, that's great for me, but also I can bring love to the world. That might, at least that's my belief about Buddhism and about loving kindness and about that. To me, that's what it felt like. But that might not be what he's saying, but that's how I experienced it. Everything will feel so cute. It's a powerful statement, but I don't think it's cute. I think to me, it's loving kindness. I can see everything is cute. ぐじゅぐじゅだけど、
それそのものがなんか I can still love it.
Right.
or なんで accepted、受け入れて受け止めてそれがいいんだよっていう感じ。
何でもそれがいいんだよ。
何でもそれがいい。
すべて
がそれ
がいいんだよ。
それがいいんだよ。
それぞれのすべてがいいんだよ。
すべてがいいんだよって。これすべてをアクセプトしていくってすごいよね。できたらすごいね。なかなか難しいね。
Including all these difficult feelings.
今の私も可愛いんだ。
そう。超ベリ可愛い。
超ベリ可愛いんだ。
超可愛い。So, I'm going to find the flower inside of me.
So to you, with a Buddhist background, 内なる花って何だと思う？
内なる花。
Flower inside.
It was, if this was a Buddhist poem and somebody told me this or these, then I would think it points to a flower simply means the Buddhist heart, metta, or peace of mind, or loving kindness, loving heart, open heart. Yeah.
そういうハートの状態。
Yeah, so, or it could point to literally like nibbana, or some awakening. I don't know.
覚醒した自分ってことで、エンライトメントを受けた自分ってこと。
The flower inside of me, some value inside of me, some beauty inside of me. Could be just simply like self-acceptance and self-love. It could mean that too.